Welcome back to Healthy Talks. I'm Emily, and I'm here with Dr. Steven. We always hear that exercise is good for us, but in a world where we're glued to our desks and exhausted by 5:00 p.m., does a 15-minute walk actually count for anything? Or are we just spinning our wheels?
That's really the question of the modern age, isn't it? We're all so tired.
Completely.
And honestly, that exhaustion often traps us in this all or nothing mentality. We think if we can't sweat for an hour or, train for a triathlon, we might as well just lie on the couch.
Right, why bother?
But if we look at the actual data, and really dig into the physiology, that mindset is actually costing us a fortune.
A fortune. Usually when you talk about cost, you mean healthcare bills down the line? Is that what you...
Well, yes, that's part of it. But I'm talking about a different kind of currency today. I want us to shift our perspective just for this deep dive.
Okay.
Stop thinking about exercise as a chore, or even worse, as punishment for that donut you ate this morning. Instead, I want you to imagine your body as a bank account, a health savings account, an HSA, if you will.
Okay, I'm intrigued. A health savings account for my biology. Let's unpack that.
Exactly. Every time you move, and I mean every single time, you are making a deposit.
Every time.
Doesn't matter if it's a marathon or just walking to the mailbox. It's a deposit of biological currency. And the fascinating thing is that your body, unlike some banks, offers incredible compound interest.
I like the sound of compound interest, so my little efforts today pay off big later.
In a huge way, yes. When you make a small deposit, say taking the stairs instead of the elevator, you aren't just burning a few calories. You're signaling your body to adapt. The data from organizations like the NHS and the World Health Organization shows that regular activity reduces the risk of an early death by up to 30%.
30%? That's a massive return on investment.
It's huge. But the payout isn't just, a longer life. It's independence. You're literally purchasing independence for your future self.
What do you mean by that?
You're buying the ability to carry your own groceries when you're 80.
Yeah.
You're buying the ability to play on the floor with your grandkids without getting stuck there.
Okay, now that is a powerful way to frame it.
That's the compound interest.
So let me play devil's advocate here. What if we don't make those deposits? Because I think a lot of us feel that if we miss a workout or we have a busy month, we're just staying neutral, pressing pause.
And that's the crucial misunderstanding. There is no neutral in biology.
Oh.
If you aren't depositing, you aren't just standing still. You are suffering from biological inflation.
Biological inflation, that sounds bad.
It is.
Huh.
Think about financial inflation. If you put $100 under your mattress and just leave it for 20 years, what happens to it?
It loses value. It buys way less than it used to.
Precisely. It loses purchasing power. Well, the same thing happens to your body when you're sedentary. The NHS says many adults spend 7, 8, even more hours a day just sitting.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a lot of us.
They call it a silent killer. When you sit that long, you're actively losing physical purchasing power. Your muscles start to atrophy. Your bone density decreases.
So just by doing nothing, I'm actually sliding backward.
You are. The American Heart Association has this fantastic quote. You don't stop moving from growing old. You grow old from stopping moving.
Wow.
If you don't keep up with the inflation of aging by making those movement deposits, you eventually go bankrupt. Physically.
And what does physical bankruptcy look like?
It looks like frailty. It's needing help to get out of a chair. It's seeing a flight of stairs as an impossible obstacle. That is the real cost.
Okay, that definitely puts a fire under me. But let's get practical, because the biggest barrier for me and for so many people is time.
It always comes back to time.
We look at our calendars and just say, I don't have a spare hour to go to the gym, so we do nothing. We stick the money under the mattress.
That is the number one reason people give. I don't have time. But here's the good news, and this is backed by the CDC, Bupa, pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
You do not need a lump sum investment.
So I don't have to block out a huge chunk of my day.
Not at all. You can rely on something called activity snacking.
Activity snacking. I like the sound of that. Usually my snacks involve chips.
A little different, yes. We're talking about short, bite-sized bursts of movement spread throughout your day.
Okay.
The research is very clear on this now. Even 5 to 10 minutes counts. It all adds up to the same total.
So literally 5 minutes. Because I can find 5 minutes. I probably waste 5 minutes scrolling social media 10 times a day.
Absolutely. It could be taking the stairs instead of the elevator. It could be parking at the far end of the lot. That's an extra 3 minutes of walking right there.
And what else?
A favorite of mine is briskly walking over to a coworker's desk to ask a question instead of sending an email or a message.
Or what about aggressive house cleaning? Does that count? I feel like scrubbing the bathtub should be an Olympic sport.
It absolutely does. Harvard Health actually lists vigorous house cleaning as a valid form of moderate exercise.
Yeah.
If you are scrubbing or vacuuming like you mean it, that's a deposit.
I love that. Vacuum like you mean it.
And here's the best part about snacking. With money, you have to wait years to see the benefit, right? That interest takes a long time to build up.
Right. It's the long game.
With activity snacking, the dividend is immediate. The CDC points out that certain brain benefits happen right after a session of moderate activity.
Wait, immediately. What kind of benefits?
Reduced anxiety, improved cognition, better focus.
So you're saying if I'm stuck on a problem at work and I take a 10-minute walk.
You will physically change your brain state.
Hmm.
You come back to your desk calmer
Huh.
and literally smarter than when you left. It's an instant payout.
That's a huge selling point. I think we focus so much on the physical changes that take months, we forget the mental changes happen in minutes.
And that leads perfectly to the next idea, what I call the invisible ROI, the return on investment you can't see.
Let's talk about that because let's be honest, most of us start exercising with a very visible ROI in mind. We want our jeans to fit better. And when we walk for 15 minutes a day for a few weeks and don't see six-pack abs, it feels like a failure.
That is the vanity trap.
Yeah.
It's why so many people quit. We had to debunk this weight loss only myth.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the physiology, weight loss is often the last thing to happen. It's a lagging indicator.
So if the scale isn't moving, what is happening? What's the invisible stuff?
Well, first we just touched on it. Mental wealth. Exercise releases serotonin, dopamine. The data suggests for mild to moderate depression, regular exercise can be as effective as antidepressants.
That's profound. It's basically free therapy.
In many ways, yeah. Then you have sleep. The Mayo Clinic has shown that physical activity helps you fall asleep faster, and it deepens the quality of that sleep.
Better mood, better sleep, those are tangible. But what about inside the machinery, inside the pipes?
Right. This is where it gets really cool. Think of your blood vessels. There's something called endothelial function. It's the health of the lining of your vessels. When you exercise, the increased blood flow puts a bit of stress on the vessel walls. It sounds bad, but it's incredibly good. It signals them to stay flexible and clean themselves out.
So it's literally cleaning out the pipes.
Exactly. It boosts your good HDL cholesterol, it lowers triglycerides, and it improves how your body handles sugar. All of that is your invisible ROI.
And that's happening even if the number on the scale hasn't budged an ounce.
Precisely. You could be fundamentally lowering your risk of a heart attack or diabetes while looking exactly the same in the mirror. You're building internal wealth.
That's such a crucial reframing. Okay, so we know we need to make deposits, we can snack on them. But what's the minimum payment? Is there a target we should aim for?
Yes, there is a global standard. And it's surprisingly consistent across the WHO, the CDC, all the major players. The target is 150 minutes of moderate activity per week.
150 minutes? Okay, when you say it like that, it sounds like a lot.
It does, but let's break it down. It's a weekly budget.
Yeah.
150 minutes is just 2.5 hours for the whole week. If you divide that by 7 days, you're looking at, what, about 22 minutes a day?
22 minutes. Okay, that is much less intimidating.
Yeah.
That's one sitcom, without the commercials.
Exactly. And you can snack on it. 2 11-minute walks get you there. But we should probably define moderate activity.
Right. People probably think they need to be gasping for air.
Yeah, if I'm not dying, I'm not trying
Yeah.
motto. No. The NHS uses a really simple tool called the talk test.
The talk test.
Moderate intensity means your heart rate is up, you're breathing faster. You can still hold a conversation, but you can't sing.
Okay, so if I'm walking with a friend, we can chat, but I shouldn't be able to belt out a power ballad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can sing an opera, you need to speed up a little. That's it. It can be brisk walking, dancing, gardening.
Big gardening counts?
Oh, absolutely. Digging, raking, carrying bags of mulch. That all counts toward your weekly budget.
That's amazing. But I noticed there's another asset class in our portfolio we haven't touched on, strength.
I am so glad you brought that up. You have to diversify. In the body, your muscles are your structural assets. The guidelines recommend muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days a week.
Does that mean I need to become a bodybuilder? Lifting heavy plates and grunting?
Not at all. This is about functional strength. It's the ultimate insurance policy against that biological inflation, against frailty.
So what does a strength deposit look like?
It can be lifting weights, sure, but it can also be using resistance bands, doing push-ups against a wall, or even that heavy gardening we talked about. You just need to work the major muscle groups.
And why is that so critical, beyond just looking toned?
One word: independence. Strong muscles and strong bones prevent falls. They are what allow you to get yourself out of a chair when you're 90. It's about preserving your freedom to navigate the world.
That really hits home. It's not about vanity, it's about freedom.
Have the whole game.
So let's just recap this. We need to see exercise as a health savings account, not a punishment. We're fighting biological inflation by making small activity snack deposits. We're building invisible ROI, better sleep, better mood. And the budget is about 22 minutes a day of can talk, can't sing activity, plus a couple of strength days.
You've summarized it perfectly.
Mhm.
And remember, this isn't about perfection. If you miss a day, you haven't blown the account. You just start depositing again tomorrow.
I love that. It feels so much more manageable.
It is, and honestly, the biggest jump in health benefits isn't from the person who goes from running 5 miles to 10. It's from the person who does nothing to the person who does something.
That first step off the couch.
That is the single most valuable deposit you can possibly make.
That is incredibly encouraging. Before we go, you always leave us with something to chew on. What's the final thought for today?
Well, I want you to imagine a scenario. Imagine I came to you with a new pill, and I told you this pill lowers your risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. It improves your sleep, it protects your brain from dementia, and treats depression. And it gives you more energy.
I'd ask how much it costs, and I'd probably ask if it was even legal.
Exactly. You'd pay thousands of dollars for a pill like that. People would wait in line for it. Well, that pill exists.
And it is.
It's free. It has no negative side effects. And you just have to take it in 10-minute doses a few times a day. So the real question is, are you going to take your medicine today?
Wow. When you put it like that, it seems pretty foolish not to. Thank you so much for breaking all this down.
Well, it's a pleasure.
And thank you for diving deep with us. Keep moving and keep saving. We'll see you next time.